Hello everybody, this is Possessed Robot coming to you with another commentary on this video. I think I'm titling, What Can I Do Despite the Economy? When it comes to weapons, robots, modules, upgrading or buying, or even anything in the workshop, when it comes to VIP, if you can afford it, go for it. It's a huge help. Why did I get it? I needed it, and I can afford at least 15 bucks. But upgrading modules, don't bother with it. It's 3 million, not unless you want to grind for long hours just trying to get the silver to upgrade those, and it's only 3 million for every level on every passive module. But that should be the least of your worries. When it comes to weapons or robots, as you can see, some of my weapons and robots in my hangar do look like premium type stuff, not older stuff. Why am I using that? Well, I've already got it at this setting, and I'm choosing all these weapons and robots because I wanted them. Now, the price on this Halo is 8 million, and I don't have 8 million. What does that mean I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to grind for it. I've only got 7 million, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner. So what am I gonna do? Despite the economy, despite the fact that I don't have a whole lot of silver, and it's gonna take me a long time to get from back up to 8 million silver just to upgrade the next weapon or robot, and I'm gonna be needing to upgrade the Spark with the same amount of silver. So what do? I don't worry about the modules, and I upgrade weapons with what I can at the moment. That's what I mean. If you cannot afford to put silver towards the workshop, then don't worry about it. Put your silver towards upgrading the weapons and robots that are in your current hangar, and wait until you get to whatever desired level that you're looking for. For me, I'm trying to max these out to MK1 level 12. The entire hangar that you see before you. Why? Because this is the hangar I've chosen. That just means I'm going to be spending weeks, maybe months, just trying to upgrade one weapon at a time. That's a lot of time just trying to get the silver I need. Believe me, what I'm actually going to be letting Pixonic know that they're not just screwing me as a player over, they're screwing themselves over by making the silver in the upgrades and the cost of robots and weapons that cost silver so expensive. See that? Costs the same as the Halo from level 7 to level 8. You see, I look at it this way. Pixonic's not only screwing us over, they're screwing themselves over, because who can afford the prices? You know? Can't afford to pay 3 million silver all the time for modules, the passive modules, so leave it. I mean, you can still use them just at level 1 or 2 or whatever level you have them at, right? Right. Now when it comes to the deals, let them know in the help menu. But you make do with what you can, despite the economy. You just grind for long hours trying to get the amount of silver you need. It's like going into the grocery store. You see a bottle of soda or beer or something that you really want, and yet you need something that's important for you and your family if you have one, and getting the basic needs, not the desires. Needs come first. When it comes to this game, what do you really need when it comes to keeping the hanger you have? For me, I need the 8 million silver for that spark and the halo that I'm trying to upgrade, which means I'm going to be putting a lot of time into just getting 16 million silver to upgrade both weapons from level 7 to level 8. I'm not worrying about the rest of it until those two are done. Just one weapon or one robot at a time. What else can I do? You know? And when it comes to things being frustrating and you want to get from level 1 to, from rookie level all the way up to the Champions League, well, overnight, that's not going to happen. I think the reason why Pixonic did this is so people will enjoy the game longer. But the problem with that is they screwed themselves over at the same time, because do they really think everybody can afford $1 or much less $100 just for 1 year supply of premium? No. Only those who are truly rich can afford those prices that you're seeing in front of you. Who can afford it? I know I can't. I can barely afford $1 sometimes, you know? Nobody can afford $100. Unless you're rich or you got that $100. And I'm not rich. I'm just barely making ends meet. So I'm going to definitely let Pixonic know. How am I going to let them know? See that little button called menu at the lower left-hand corner? That's where you go. Think about it. Despite the economy, all you can do is what you can afford. And if you can't afford to upgrade these types of weapons or robots, find a setup that you can afford. Go for the cheap stuff. If you don't feel like waiting, go for the cheap stuff and grind as best you can and do the best you can. And when it comes to the cheap stuff, now here's the main menu. Go to the menu, go to the lower right hand corner of your screen where it says help. And this is where you go. Scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says suggestions and feedback and press that button. And what does that do? Takes you to this button. Yes or no? Well, that's up to you if you want to give your if you want to say yes or no. But you also can go to the upper right-hand corner where it says Contact Us. That's the button I usually go with. Now, if you're a rookie that's just barely playing this game and you want to know, this is where you go. If you really want to let them know your feedback on what to do. As you can see, I actually gave them a question based on modules, and I'll give you a chance to read it. I can't read it because the screen is so small where I'm looking at right now, but it's all about, can you earn extra silver with the with the nuclear reactor and extra reactors? Can you gain silver with those attack bonus modules? That was my question for them. I'm still waiting because this happened slightly before the test server, and they don't always answer during test server weekends, so they answer it after the test server is over with. That's what I've learned. But to my question, I hope they say yes, it is possible to those questions I asked. Now, why do I want to know about those nuclear reactors and adding more than one, or even thermonuclear reactors, or more than one, or if they're upgraded to maximum level? I want to know if that's a good way to earn silver, you know? I actually had a video on it, but I lost a subscriber because of the video, so I deleted the video. But I'm curious as if those modules, the nuclear reactor and thermonuclear reactor, helps. I mean, I know it creates damage, but will it help? Will that damage be counted as silver, a percentage of silver towards our battles? Hopefully I get the answer I'm looking for. But when it comes to what can you do despite the economy, grind like I'm doing, or if you can't afford the workshop, don't bother. If you can't afford the modules, don't bother. Work on your hangar. If you can't afford all the new stuff, go with the old school cheap stuff and grind for silver for those stuff and get better at that type of cheap stuff. Work with the cheap stuff. It's not like the Champions League is going to. It's not like Pixonic designed this game to where you only can have premium stuff. What Adrian and Manny and all those others talk about. I believe it is possible to make it to the Champions League, even with the cheap stuff. You just got to learn how to use it. I've been told and heard that many players have made it to the Champions League with many cheap stuff. So it just depends on where your skill level is at. If you can really get good with your skill level with the old stuff, the cheap stuff, that's what a lot of practice comes in. Anyway, this is what you can do despite the economy. Work with the cheap stuff, and if you don't feel like working on the cheap stuff, grind until you can upgrade for each level. But definitely let Pixonic know in the help menu your feedback on what you're having problems with. That's what it's there for. They want to know. Please leave a like and do consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.